Hello! So today I'm introducing you to Frederick, who we are going to transform. We are going to apply a hairpiece for him. So we're going to make a new man. Here is the before. We're going with a feather light hairpiece. These are the lightest hairpieces that exist. We'll add 10% gray hair because he doesn't have any on top, but he has quite a bit on the sides. So I'll add 10% gray hair to have a good consistent look. Right now, I'm removing all the little hairs and then I'll apply glue all over the top part. 2 layers of glue and then we will attach the hairpiece. Now I'm going to use a template. So I have shaved the whole top area. I'll use a template to outline the front hairline. We choose the hairline either because for the first time we like it to be slightly recessed so there isn't too much hair at once when starting from a significant amount of thinning. Or another reason is that when someone has already lost hair at the temples, if I put a straight hairline with a lot of hair, it will look fake immediately. Whereas when we have this, it's a smaller head shape where we've lost a little bit at the temples. So you will see that the result will be much more natural with a slightly recessed look at the temples. So I have already made a mark. I place my template and then I draw with a makeup pencil that washes off. I draw my frontal hairline and that will define where I'm going to apply the glue later. This is the hairpiece we are going to use. I will put a tiny bit of glue on the edge of the hairpiece and then 2 layers on him. As I was saying, I apply a first layer of glue. Regarding the glue application, it must always be quite thin. You shouldn't use too much glue. The more glue you apply, the less it holds. That is often the common misconception. People often apply a lot of glue, but in fact, it doesn't hold any better. So there, once the fusion between the skin and the hairpiece is complete, the piece will be fixed for a month. So every month you'll need to come back for a refit. And this hairpiece will be replaced every 2 months, like this one here, for the thinner ones. There are other models that are a bit thicker and will last longer. So the look will naturally be a bit less natural because there's more hair, so it makes them sturdier and they'll last longer, but it won't be as thin. So the result is a little less natural. Actually, all hair pieces are pretty much the same. I mean, it's all the same hair and the bases are roughly the same. Really. All the bases are a bit like the one I'm about to apply. You have different models with thicker base materials and more hair. The thicker the base and the more hair there is, the longer it lasts, but the result is less refined. Then we let it dry thoroughly because it's important for the glue to become completely transparent. If it's still white, the bonding process won't work. It just won't hold. Once it's dry, we apply the hairpiece so it stays firmly in place. Then, once the hairpiece is on, you have to wait 48 hours before taking your first shower or getting your hair completely wet. It takes 48 hours for the bond to set permanently. I'm applying a second layer of resin, still quite thin. For some people, I only apply a single layer. This is the first application. So for now, we're following the standard protocol. We apply the 2 layers of resin. But some people prefer only 1. You really have to adapt to each individual. Find 1 layer is enough. For others, we adapt. Every client reacts differently. The glue will change and sit differently from one person to the next. Some people do small frontal touch-ups from time to time. Some never do, even after years of wearing a hairpiece, and others do them regularly. There are several reasons for that. Sometimes it's just that the client is anxious and wants to preemptively fix a potential lift that hasn't even happened yet. Your skin type also affects how well it holds from one person to another. I say it takes about a 2-month adjustment period when you start wearing a hairpiece. There are always a few adjustments at the start. Adjustments regarding the cut, the maintenance, how to wash them, how to live with the way the hair falls. Initially, I style the clients' hair the way I think suits them best, but they might prefer it differently. Yeah. So we'll change the style, shorten it. We make adjustments until the person finds their rhythm and their look, and until I get to know the client, their routine, how they wash their hair, how they live. There's a short adjustment period, and I'd say the hair system becomes a part of the person after about 2 months of wearing it. Alright, the glue is dry. I'm going to position the system. Now I'm actually removing these little pencil marks. I'm fading them as much as possible so they don't stay on the skin. And here we go. Lean back. Perfect. Like that. So here, I'm going to roll it out gently onto the glue, being careful not to pull it too much or cause any creases. It's actually a polyurethane membrane, and the hair is hand injected, so it's all natural hair. However, there is no synthetic hair at all. The hairs are injected one by one into the membrane. So you have standard pieces, and I have specific pieces made to get that undetectable look with a lightness that really provides incredible results. So it doesn't look great like this, but you'll see that once it's even all wet, it will look much nicer.
It's very light in any case.
Yeah, so you can touch it.
You can feel, you don't even feel it, and then...
Well, there's all the length, but once we've cut it, it will be much lighter. Immediately cutting it wet. So everything that sticks out, I'll remove with a scalpel to really be flush between their scalp and the system. So it's wet now. Do you see the transparency? Yes, it's super thin. So now I'm going to cut it. And afterwards, it's natural hair. So you can blow dry it, you can use gel or hairspray. You wash it about twice a week. Mm-hmm. You live as if it were your own hair, you know. The ideal is to apply conditioner and detangle them well.
Quick question, can we wear caps?
Yes, you can wear caps, hats, hoods. Hood. Or swim caps. What? Basically, you really should treat them like your own hair. You can even wear them in summer on your sunglasses. Do this.
And when going skiing, no problem at all.
Even bikers, there are plenty of bikers who wear hair systems. Yes, I ride a motorcycle, but there you go. You can wear helmets, put them on, and take them off. It's true that for that, bonding is great because it's completely secured, so it won't stay inside. Helmet, it stays firmly in place. That's the advantage. You never take it off, you sleep with it, wake up with it, live with it.
But it's lighter than traditional ones. Yeah, because you don't feel it at all. And the membrane is 0.03 millimeters thick. So naturally it looks a bit like a sheet of cellophane. Maybe barely thicker, but really not by much. I was just wondering, I cut at the wrong time. He was asking if I was a hairdresser by trade. So yes, I have a certificate in the professional diploma in hairdressing. I was an apprentice, did my training, and then I joined NOGIL, the NOGIL group, which was the European leader in hair system application. I worked for 15 years now. Well, I managed run their institutes in Orléans for 15 years. And before that, I was trained in Bordeaux at the Notre Institute in Bordeaux. And afterward, I managed the Orléans Institute for 15 years. I saw several employees over those 15 years, and I filed for bankruptcy after COVID. We had issues with restocking merchandise, hair systems. Well, we had no more hair systems, and so it folded. And I set up my own business at that time, and actually when the company folded, the hair market was picking back up, so I got lucky and recovered the clientele I had from NOGIL and set up on my own, and I'm delighted.
It's good to be your own boss.
Yeah. Now it's about having the freedom to work how you want with beautiful products. Kind clients. And nice followers who like, subscribe, and support me.
I watched all the videos beforehand.
In any case, you were brave because I have at least 300 videos. I don't know, counting the TikToks I made a while back.
It took me about 2 months to decide.
I was watching.
That for me is fast. Some people sometimes think about it for a year, and that's common.
I watched. I even showed my dad and my kids to ask what they thought and so on.
Yeah. But that's normal, right? It's still a decision. An important decision, getting your image back. Once you've done it, you wonder why you didn't do it sooner. But it's still a milestone. You still have to cross that bridge. It's a commitment, let's say. Personally, I'm quite impulsive.
I have sudden urges like that. 2 years ago, I was fed up with my hair. I shaved my head, I took the razor and I shaved it off.
Why not? By shaving your head, you can test several things to find what suits you. It can be one of the solutions. Shaving your head. A hairpiece is another. You can try all the main solutions. The goal is to find the one that suits you. When you saw it on the video, actually I first rough out the cut. Next, I work on the thickness with my thinning shears. Sculpting. Knowing that, for the hairdressers watching, unlike what we do in traditional hairdressing, we can perfectly destructure hair from the root without risk. Because in hairdressing, the rule is don't use thinning shears at the root, because when it grows back, it creates spikes and it creates, well, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work. So I have hairdressers saying, yeah, that's not how you cut hair, blah, blah. But the fact is a hairpiece is not cut like natural hair. There are several little tricks that are really specific to hairpieces that don't apply at all to a normal hairstyle. It's an adaptation, if you will. That's why a hairdresser isn't necessarily qualified to style a hairpiece, to know how to cut a hairpiece correctly. They can be the best hairdresser in the world, but be terrible with hairpieces. There really are little things to know, and this is one of them. To sculpt a hairpiece, you have to sculpt it from the root as I'm doing here, to get the lightness we want. And then, once we've chosen the shape of the hairstyle and all that, we'll place the hair directions, meaning the hair is implanted into the membrane. We'll gently heat the membrane with the hairdryer. We'll direct the hair so that it falls back very naturally, meaning when you get out of the shower, you'll do this. You'll just let it sit naturally. It will fall into the right place. If there are cowlicks, we'll deal with those.
A little bit of hair dryer on cool.
You can use a hairdryer without any problem. We avoid heating them up too much. Even lukewarm is fine.
Either way, if it doesn't burn you, it should be fine. Unless you're really doing straightening and all that, but usually it remains natural hair. So actually it handles heat very well. There are no particular worries. Personally, I still like it when we have a fairly natural look. Things that are too brushed, yeah. Even here, you see there's a bit of a natural effect like this. Soft. I think it's not bad. Is that what you're saying?
I like it like this.
Let's look at the camera so we can see. So there, in fact, it's just a little bit softer. It has a wet look. But afterwards, we can structure it, we can put gel back in, we can really have something dry and blow dried. But it's true that I invent words. It happens to me. I think we have the base of the cut. We're not going to go much shorter than that. Want to keep a little bit of length?
Yeah, a little bit of length.
I'll run the hairdryer through it, but not to dry them, not to blow dry them, but to set the directions, and then I'll re-wet them.
And for booking the next appointment, how does that work?
Often we book appointments from one time to the next. Yeah, it's so good to plan it. We'll start by booking every 4 weeks at first to see how your scalp reacts. It reacts.
If we see it can last a week longer, we'll move to 5.
Yeah, but it's still good to get them every other time like that, if possible. Yes, well, yes.
I was looking at myself in the mirror. I feel different. Come on.
I think if you were used to doing that, yeah, it's good to keep it. It already changes you a lot. Look at the type of hairstyle you had here. It's not bad.
It was more or less like that when they fell out in about 4 years.
Hair loss is also very random. You can have periods where they fall out all at once, and then you might have stable periods. And often, by the way, there are people, I prefer to say it, who think it's their fault if they lose their hair. Saying, I wore too many caps, I got perms, I dyed my hair. In fact, that is very rarely true. The vast majority of the time, androgenetic hair loss, which presents with these localized gaps on top, is hereditary. So in fact, these things are inevitable. Where you can slow down the process with treatments is... But this is hair loss you are actually programmed to have.
Look at my dad, he's 74, he still has a lot of hair.
Genes can come from the mother or the father. Generally, they say it comes from the mother's side as well as the father, from both. If both sides are bald, if the men in the family are often bald on both sides, well,
there's a higher chance of losing them. You can skip 1 or 2 generations. But it is true that
one day my dad had more hair than I did when I arrived.
Yeah.
do you like it?
Very well. Yeah. The haircut is really just as I was.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm 10 years back in time.
There, I added 10% gray hair. So,